Yeah, but he's not here. He's not here to tell us not to.
He's not.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Berardi and Cook with myself, James, and the other James, Mr. Cartier. We've got a bit of a treat for you this evening because somebody's been messing. As you can probably tell in the background, we have a completely new background which is made by this little guy today because he's been bored. So we've got a couple of classics for you, including something completely random that's just sent me this evening. But let's get a classic going and we'll get into it, Jay.
Hi, this is Don Matteo, and you are listening to the Orta Know Better podcast. Let's do this.
You look like fucking Brolin, you're a Leeds eating bastard.
Look like some sort of fucking weird floating head. No.
You utensil player a bit, innit?
I mean, I feel a bit right, dickhead.
Nothing spectacular, really.
Don't say it.
Old Faithful.
Don't say it. Yeah, someone's been mucking around with the brands and stuff and has forgotten to upload the newest of our introductions. So that's why you get a bit of a blast from the past. We've also got something else. You've just showed me it. You kind of just threw it at me, and that's probably a bit while we're maybe a little bit.
I did
because you sent me. You might as well pop it up, mate. You might as well play it.
I mean, I did say I'd not be happy if we did this.
Yeah, but I don't care.
All right, you're the boss, mate.
I'm the host. Let's go. Get it played.
The new OKB countdown.
It's absolutely horrendous down here. I hope none of you have got kids in the room that might be giving them nightmares. Jesus, wet. Oh, golly gosh. What a way to start the day.
I'm going to get it in neck for that.
Yeah, you will. And I'll just say it with all your idea. Hopefully, he hasn't seen me.
You know.
He hasn't told me I can't play it. Anyway, how are you doing, mate? You all right? Are you well after yesterday's fantastic win down at the Swans?
Yeah, well, I were on my way back from Scotland, so I was watching in the car while she was driving.
Excellent. Passenger princess.
That's right.
Was the ponytail flapping in the wind?
It was, yeah. You know, full works.
You've got a convertible, haven't you? My shit's probably not a convertible.
No, not anymore. Well, I've got the MR2, but it's not on the road.
Ooh.
Wasn't in that. No, yeah, I were watching, and it were really, really fucking just my sort of, everything goes wrong that I do. So I managed to tune in just as it said 1-0 Swansea. I was like, what? And then I saw the replay, and I was just like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I know. Well, because I was listening on the wireless, I had a notification come through on my phone that it was Swansea goal. I went, you're having a frigging laugh. And then obviously at that point, I think the first goal, I think it was Tanaka who were a clean tackle. It were never a free kick in a million frigging years. It were a right tackle. So
I missed whatever caused the free kick.
Yeah, it was a clean enough tackle for me. It was solid, and they blew up. They did much worse, which probably warranted actual cards. But yeah, it were a fair tackle for me. Free kick at edge at box. An absolute catastrophe. I mean, to be fair,
defend them.
They're the lowest scoring team in the league, and we've managed to concede 3 against them. Yes, we've scored 4, but let's not roll it in glitter just yet. There are some question marks over a couple of people's performances yesterday, but we'll get into that a little bit. So, what did you see from the game? What can you tell me from the game that you actually did take notice of?
Well, you can't not notice Tanaka, can you? I mean, what a game he had. He was like a whole midfield on his own. He was like 2 guys in there. He was defending, he was breaking up play, he was distributing balls up top. Just everything. That was a complete performance, I think, from Tanaka for me.
He was absolutely class, wasn't he? Look, he's got even new things down at the bottom, look.
Yeah, change that.
Look at all this, look. Roland likes his new background. We'll go into a couple of player performances a little bit after we've discussed the match a little bit more. But the Tanaka is just coming into his own, and I mean, he's just an absolute machine.
Yeah.
I mean, we weren't sold the fact that it would be such a colossus defensively. We were saying, he's more of an 8 sort of position that he'd be more attacking, but he just does absolutely everything. He's an absolute Absolute
I mean,
steal at £3 million.
Ethan Ampadu must be like sweating watching Tanaka's performances.
Yeah.
Because
Even
how do you displace him?
Well, he won't be displaced, will he? I think, unfortunately, the player that will come out or will drop out will be Rothwell. Not that he deserves to either, because he's been fantastic as well. I think his ball progression is I think he's brilliant. Rothwell's a very good player.
He's not performed as consistently as well as Tanaka's performed.
No,
he has been decent in there. He's been better than a lot of people thought he would be. Like, I think when those two got injured, Gruev and Ampadu, everyone thought, "Oh, that's it, season over. We're going to be looking at getting playoffs now." At the moment, that all happened, and it's, for the most part, although we struggled through some games, it's been like no one's missing. It's just like two people slotted in and picked up where the others left off, and we couldn't have asked for anything more, really.
I think it's fair to say that, you know, Ampadu will drop back into the team. One, because he's our number one captain, and he's. I think, you know, I don't think people have forgotten how good he is, but I think once he slots in alongside Tanaka, I think it may even just up it a notch, maybe.
Yeah,
I'm hoping so. You know, because Ampadu is an absolute class act. He's solid.
He is, yeah. Yeah.
And does the defensive work, which means hopefully Tanaka won't have to do, because you can see Tanaka does drop deep a lot.
But when he's that good at doing it,
that's the thing. So they're going to have to do some sort of like rotation role there in the middle. But, you know, absolutely solid in middle. You know, I'm so happy that, you know, they've both stepped up in place of Gruev and Ampadu. And like you say, he's flawless. You haven't even noticed that they've not been there, fortunately.
No.
But yeah, you know, we'll get on to a few other things. What did you think of... well, we'll go into the game a little bit more then. Did you think that any of our goals were offside initially when we scored them?
Well, I did. The last two, was it? I thought might be. I didn't celebrate initially when either of those went in. I was waiting. I was looking. I was like, "Is there going to be a flag?" I'm sure there's going to be a flag, and there wasn't. And it was like one of those delayed celebrations, so it wasn't quite as like, you know, But yeah, I was just really, really glad, because the ref were crap. So for the linesmen to do a good job,
soft decisions.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you'll agree, but the Dan James one, he got the ball. I'm not sure he should have got a yellow card. I mean, he did fly in.
I think
it was borderline for me.
A bit, didn't he? Yeah, he probably did want a yellow, to be fair.
Borderline for me, but I mean, their guy then did something after that where he didn't get the ball and he didn't get a yellow.
Yeah, it completely took
and it
him
wasn't
out.
Quite as sort of, he didn't fly in quite as hard as sort of James did, but he took the guy out and he did go in and he didn't get the ball and there were nothing. And it's stuff like that really pisses me off. And when we are so vulnerable at defending set pieces as we are, which is so weird, because in open play we're rock solid usually. And yeah, to have refs give that many fouls against us and give cards against us and then not give it the other way, it's one of the most frustrating things you can watch as a fan, because there's nothing you can do. And you know your team's up against it, and we have to overcome that constantly. It's affecting us because we can't defend set pieces very well, and teams know that refs will blow up against us for whatever reason. It seems to be the case.
I mean, we can and we can. I mean, when we seem to be on it, we can defend anything. Set pieces, open play. I mean, you know,
when we're on it, yeah.
The whole thing, everything can be thrown. Throw up bloody kitchen sink at us and we'll defend it. But when it goes wrong, it goes spectacularly wrong. Whether it be Melier or whether it be someone, you know, not taking a play correctly. You know, I mean, I did snap at him a little bit on social media, you know, during the game. You know, I wasn't brutal, but I just basically said he should be doing. I think it was their third goal. Where it took the deflection, slight deflection off Bogle. I think Bogle should have done better to close down his man. But Melier's positioning for that goal was, I'm sorry, it was left very wanting. You know, he's so far over on left-hand side. Even if he did just, you know, cover the middle, it'd have got down to that, even with a deflection. But it was so far over on left. And I've seen many stills, and when that shot's coming in, he's still way over onto the left-hand side of his goal. He should be doing better. And I'm sick and tired of seeing people try and make excuses for him. At the end of the day,
I'm with you.
He's an average keeper, because he does some great stuff, but equally does some really, really poor really poor stuff and all. And his decision making and his positional stuff is absolutely terrible. And he hasn't improved at all on that specific thing. He's just not improved at all in his positional sense.
You'd have thought after that Coleman goal against him for Everton, he'd have spent serious time working on stuff like that. But as you say, just nothing. And I used to back him. I used to like him. I used to think he was going to be a really, really good keeper at some point. Now I'm just not sure he's got that ceiling. I think he's kind of plateaued and shown what his level is for me. People, and 2 years ago, we were talking about if Chelsea wanted him, obviously you'd have to consider it. Well,
when I mean, being relegated.
That's a pipe dream, mate. No one's looking at you. No top clubs.
People are still saying, "Oh, he's young and is this, is that, and his other." Yeah, he's young, but I'm not being funny. Young people are like sponges and they learn quickly. He doesn't seem to be learning quickly, when he initially were introduced to the team against Arsenal away in Cup, he looked absolutely solid. He was quality. His feet were brilliant. His distribution was absolutely on point. He just seems to have regressed just slightly season on season, and then he'll do something absolutely fantastic. There's a few cases last season. Magic saves against Leicester, and well, I don't know whether it's a pressure thing. Who knows? But I would be absolutely shit scared about taking him back to Premier League.
Me too. We'd have to get someone else.
Much better, much deadlier players in the Premier League than in Championship. Jesus Christ!
100%.
And I would back him. I would always back Meslier in a one-on-one situation. He seems to do well, but for everything else, it's just a bit. Even though he has improved at corners, he's coming out.
You're always surprised though when you see him catch it.
Yeah,
that shouldn't be a thing.
No, it shouldn't be. He's caught something. Well done.
Give him a medal.
It's like, come on, mate. You've been playing for the first team for fucking 5-6 years now, mate.
Yeah, I mean that second goal of theirs, I thought that was pathetic goalkeeping. The low shot along the ground.
Oh yeah. Well,
centralish. I mean, he should have done better with that for me. That one annoyed me.
Was that the one at the near corner?
No, that one that were just off centre, where a shot, a low shot.
I don't remember it. Honestly, it only happened yesterday.
Unless my brain's telling me a different goal, but I'm sure it's that one.
I'm not going to wade in too much about him because, at the end of the day, defensively we weren't on it yesterday. I didn't think Rodon did well. That first goal. There's a couple of players that you could probably point out and say that that he were your man. There were a couple of bit of argy-bargy in the middle of the box or whatever. But at the end of the day, it dropped to someone that were absolutely unmarked in a crowd with 4 Leeds players around him. That's inexcusable.
Again.
So,
and I mean, there was that other chance they had. I've forgotten the guy's name now. Where it came right onto his foot, dropped to him.
Very similar on the other side.
Yeah.
Very similar.
And he
pretty
blew
much
it.
identical.
He shouldn't have been on his own there. He shouldn't have been able to just receive that ball. But again, he was, and it's only good fortune that he didn't score there.
Scooby says he thinks it was Tanaka. See, it might well have been Tanaka, but I saw Rodon near him with his back to him. So I'm not being funny. A tall lad like that, having a cross looped over you like that with your back to where it's going, or someone behind you, that's pretty poor for me. Some people have blamed Strike. It's like, come on, man. Someone, I'm not going to start saying, oh, he's shit, because on a whole, we played really, really well, I think, yesterday, barring a couple of issues that seem to be slapping us in the face time and time again.
Yeah.
But, we just, in moments, we just look really defensively frail.
Yeah, and it's weird because we've been so solid previously. We
drop 3 goals against a team like that,
Yeah. And it seems to be the case as well. Like teams that score a lot, we seem to restrict. Teams that don't score a lot, we seem to gift goals. And that's a bit of a theme with us.
Yeah, just looking at a couple of starred comments here. That's a bit early. Paul Brennan says Dan James man of the match, 3 assists all over the park, putting a shift. Technically 2, but yeah, we'll give him a 3rd for the own goal. Unfortunately, didn't get him team at week either. 2 assists.
What?
Nah.
Did Solomon get in?
Yeah. Solomon and Tanaka got in.
I felt sorry for Pirro actually because he were going to score if that guy didn't score that own goal. Yeah. It's not Patrick Bamford. He's not going to miss from there.
Well, you look at the way that we scored against, Solomon's goals. There were tap-ins, but he had to be in the right place, and we played effective football to get to that. It was also almost Bielsa-like the way that we cut down the byline and then squared it,
crossed it to the other guy.
That's effective football. Yeah. Effective football. but they weren't scared. They obviously to attackers, and I think they had the lion's share of the possession. But it's effective, and to be fair, Swansea are a decent team. Let's not take it away from
they're
them.
not a bad side.
The whole offside trap thing though, it's they did exactly the same. They played exactly the same way against us last season.
It's a risky game to play, is that?
When your offside trap hadn't worked for the first 2 goals, you'd think maybe we need to be a little bit more zonal rather than man marking or stepping out when a ball's getting split through the defence. But yeah, the last goal that we scored, Nanto's goal, when their number 6, is it Cooper? Their number 6.
Yes.
Their number 6 were actually literally looked square at him as ball played through to him. And when it had gone in, he turned to ref and had just all the theatrics and all that sort of thing.
You've literally having a go at him, wasn't he?
You've literally just looked at him as he's played. You've played him on. He's about 5 yard, maybe for 3 or 4 yard past his centre line where he should be. He knows he dropped a right bollock there, but
apparently their commentators were screaming for offside as well.
Of course they will be.
But
whenever you lose, it isn't fair, is it? There's not many people that are humble and they'll accept defeat.
But we're not getting a clear offside. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be onside if it's given, and it's us because they love blowing up against us.
There's people saying that their first goal were offside. I'm not so sure. I haven't seen that many angles of it. It does look touch and go with a couple of their players, but give them benefit of doubt with that one.
I'd rather benefit of the doubt be given than people just be blowing for offsides willy-nilly. Even if it goes against you sometimes. Like the whole thing in the Premier League with VAR and the lines, someone's elbow's offside, it's bullshit, man.
Yeah.
I don't want that.
Paul Brennan again says Ayo Tanaka and Big Joe Rothwell are playing at the moment. Good partnership, absolutely. IPW 133, that's a great name. I would certainly want to see more of Jay Gulavugi. I don't think you've spelled that right, mate, but it's a good job. I'm such a linguist. I can recognise exactly what you're on about. Yeah, I think like I said, there were a couple of good performances from substitutions. I think with them, I saw some stat the other day and I bloody can't remember it about. I think it's quite a bit, like 25% of our goals have come from substitutes.
Really?
Don't quote me on the percentage.
Is that because Piru keeps scoring when it comes on as a sub?
Well, yeah. I mean, we'll look, obviously, Nonto as well. What do you think about benching Nonto?
A brave decision, but obviously it worked out for us. I was surprised. I'm surprised that if he's going to bench somebody, it's not Aronson, because he's fucking useless and he was anonymous in that game.
You think so? He gets a lot of flack to Aronson, doesn't he?
He does. He's
I think
great
some of
at
it's
looking
deserved.
busy. He's great at running around. He gets into good positions, but he can't keep the ball. That's the problem. Like there's a brain in there for the game, but his body just doesn't seem able to carry through what he's trying to do.
I think he's getting better. He's still learning. We're still only a third of way through the season. Just over the third of way through the season. I think yes, ideally we could do with a better number 10. Do we have a second stab at Hamer? Do we just go and wave a load of cash in front of him?
I don't think we will, but we should.
We might not do, but they might have identified another target in the for the January transfer window. So it might not be him, and it might be someone else that's cheaper. I mean, you look at our recruitment and the recruitment that we've made through summer, and you can't really knock any of it, really. I mean, obviously Gilavugi's coming as well as a free. And I'm relatively happy with every single one. Even Rothwell, Gilly was slagging him off left, right, and centre. He has eaten humble pie about it all because he's a great addition to the squad. And luckily we did get him because otherwise we would have been fucked, wouldn't we?
Oh God, yeah, but, really big time.
But you look at the people that are coming on. I mean, Joseph, probably not as effective as I'd like him to be. He seems to be smashing it in for under 21s, but it's a completely different game. It's playing it international with kids than playing proper grown-ups football. It's one of them, innit? I mean, I'd still like to have him around, and at some point he will crack on and he'll do something.
He'll click,
if he's not getting the full 90 minutes, and by rights, Pirro should have started because he's bagging, and it's one of them sort of games where you go and visit an old club, they're going to be gunning for you. At all costs, we cannot let this guy score. Obviously, there's quite a few of them on there. I think Rodon's ex-Swansea, Dan James is ex-Swansea, Pirro's
They'll be
ex-Swansea.
fuming about what Dan James did to him.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's touch on Dan James. Like, how do you think he played?
Like a hot knife through butter.
Yeah,
He just ruined them. He absolutely ruined them. I mean, can you imagine 2 or 3 years ago saying we'd missed Dan James? However long it was.
See, I always liked Dan James.
I always liked him, but he got a lot of flack, didn't he, early doors?
Yeah, because he was being played as a striker. He was completely out of position. He shouldn't have been there because frigging Bamford wasn't doing anything. He was half injured all the time. Mr. fucking Rich T Biscuit over there. And he was having to do a role that he's not used to that. He's used to blitzing past people on right wing or left wing. And getting them crosses in and getting them cutbacks in, which is how Bielsa used to play. It'd have been an absolute ideal for them sort of games. And he's ideal in them sort of open games where, you're not going to be playing against 17 frigging players at back. Obviously, minor exaggeration there. But, when you've got obviously 6 or 7 at back and you've got a bank of 3 in front of them and you're just leaving one striker at top, those are hard sort of defences to break through. And for someone where you need a lot of room for Dan James to move into, it's difficult. However, he seems to have upped his game a little bit because he's cutting inside a lot more and he's doing these little cheeky chips, and that ball through to Nonto for his fourth was absolutely class. He's a quality. The people are saying that he's best player in Championship at minute, and to be honest with you, I'd find it hard to disagree.
Dan James.
Yeah.
I mean, on form, he's up there definitely. To not getting Team of the Week as well. I mean, what's that about?
Say that again. Sorry, I think you lagged then.
I said to not getting Team of the Week as well. What's that about?
I don't know, mate. Technically, he only got 2 assists, but it should have been 3 really.
Only 2. It were an amazing performance from him. I mean, every time he got the ball and started moving, you could tell they were scared. They didn't know what he was going to do, and then the ball from Stroik to him as well. That was outstanding, and that's the kind of forward progressive passing that I want to see more of, rather than this side to side shit. But yeah, it was just all the good bits of his game were on show against them, and the pace, the crossing, the cutting inside, getting into the box, all of that. He was just there. He was on it. He was just like an absolute menace to him, and that's what I want from Dan James. That's his wheelhouse. That's who he is.
Yeah. Jason Webster says first time they've lost after scoring first. I think we did. We've done a couple of little records over them, haven't we? We've
I think so. Yeah.
We've well and truly slumped them. Our happy little acorn, Mr. Bryn Johnson, is in the comments and he says Dan James is good, but he came in for 25 million. That price tag was heavy for him. Possibly, but Bielsa wanted him. Man United was selling him. We paid it's Premier League prices. End of the day, we were. I think what Sheffield United want something similar, 15, 16 million, 20 million for Hamer, and we're a Championship club.
Yeah,
it's one of them. I'm not too asked. I mean, you look at how many players that we've got. I mean, friggin' Aronson. You look at Aronson for the price that he costs us as well. 25 million.
And I'd say Dan James is twice the player that he is at the moment.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And then you get, some people you're going to pay over odds for. Dan James maybe is one of them, but we want him and he's effective, and he'll be effective for us in Premier League. Brendan Harrison was not worth even double 12.5 million. No. Absolutely had his pants down for him. But then you look at Ayo Tanaka, we paid 3 million for him. There is these little golden nuggets out there somewhere that you will find. Rafinha, I think he was 17 million. You will get these players that come through every time and again.
That as well.
Yeah, I think it. Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. He engineered his move out of the club, didn't he? But fair play, we're only going to go somewhere, and we can't.
And he gave his all while he was there. So,
yeah.
Never just said, "Oh well, I'm off in summer. Fuck it." So
he's back again, as our mate. Works hard, Aronson, but the end product is poor. Reverse of Pido, who was absolute shite again. Quality opinions.
Spreading all joy and positivity, and after a win as well.
Honestly, he's a great lad.
Do you hate when we win, Bryn?
I think he just hates Leeds. I think he's a Leeds bastard.
He is. We'll remind him of that.
He'd be sat there in his hotel room with his chuffing and his underpants on with holes in, drinking a cup of fucking PG tips or whatever you get in them little hotel kettles or whatever.
sock next to him on bed.
He just hates being happy. He just doesn't like being happy. Do you know what? It happens a lot. You know, I've seen that you people have been ringing up the BBC. I think it were Five Live.
Mate.
There were a guy that there were a guy that we just literally got an away win, just went top of the league, and he was calling for his head, saying that that Fark should lose his job and we should move on and get someone else in. I mean, just Jesus Christ, some of our fan base.
I mean, where do you stand on this? Because for me, there's elements of our game that I dislike. There are things Farker does that irritate me. But we're top of the fucking league. We just won the game. All right, there might have been a bit of luck involved, but we're top of the league. It's a results business. He's getting results for the most part. I don't like everything that we do. I'm moaning constantly about the fucking side-to-side passing, the slow build-up, the possession-based stuff. I'm moaning about it all the time. But do I want to see my team win? Do I want to see us get 3 points? Fuck yeah. I want to see us get promoted. I don't care what happens after this season right now. I just want us to get out of this league. And we're top of the league. And the football might be painful at times. It might be boring. But it's getting results. You cannot sack a guy who's winning games. You just can't.
It's only boring when you're playing a very defensive team, though, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
Let's be fair. I mean, that was not a boring game yesterday, but that's because Swansea have the balls to actually play attacking football, or they like a lot of possession themselves. You know, so you're kind of not inviting pressure on, but at the end of the day, if they've got the ball, they've got to do something with it. You know, they're not there. You know, and they do knock it around a little bit at the back, but you know, it was the much better football to watch. I'm happy. I'm not happy being bored. I wouldn't say I'm bored every game I watch. It can be a little bit vanilla sometimes. Our football, it's not exactly all edge of your seat stuff, but it's effective, and that's the blueprint for getting out of this league. And that's at the end of the day, that's the main goal.
Yeah, it is. And that's what every team in this league is there for.
People need to enjoy it. Enjoy getting these results and enjoy the journey, because we've been here before. You know, the journey was fantastic.
Quick to forget, Smarty.
The destination was shite, and we'll be getting fucking pumped left, right, and centre in frigging Premier League, and you can absolutely guarantee it.
That second season were one of the worst seasons in living memory. It was just shit. It were like when we were fucking 15th every season in Championship level of shit. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's what it could be like again. Look at how the teams who have gone up are doing. Like Southampton and Leicester. Leicester have sacked 2 managers already.
Well, I thought it was only Cooper that they've sacked.
Well, they got... Oh, no, they didn't. Yeah.
Maresca left.
Yeah, he left. You're right. But it's early doors anyway for sacking a manager was the point. Yeah, my brain deceived me there. Anyway, but yeah, you know, did you see Southampton try to play it out from the back?
Yeah, they're shit.
Liverpool,
they're absolutely
and they
shit.
conceded the goal. They just got the ball took off them. The keeper did what Melier sometimes does, rolled it to somebody with a guy on him. He immediately lost it when they panicked and tried to pass it about, and it went to Liverpool and they scored. You know, that's the kind of shit that we've got to look forward to when we go up, unless we're very, very lucky or something major happens regarding signings. So you've got to enjoy winning the games. You've got to enjoy being top of the league. You've got to enjoy getting to lord it over other teams a little bit on social media and all the like, because we get it. We get it from them. So we've got to give it out when we're on top, and you've got to enjoy it, because it doesn't last.
Well, I say, I mean, you can like you say, you know, get stuck into some people on social media, but be careful, because it will bite you in the ass. It has done. I've been bookmarked left, right, and centre.
Dr. Teeth.
Who's Dr. Teeth?
Steve Cooper.
Call him Dr. Teeth. It's a very strange name.
He's a strange looking bloke, to be fair.
He's a very, very strange looking man. Yeah, I'm not surprised. That they've.
You wouldn't want to put him on any merchandise, would you?
Cooper. I mean, I think we were linked with Cooper as well, weren't we?
He's a good manager.
You know, back in Championship, you know. But you know, I think Leicester are in a bit of a run. It's just such a shame. I mean, you look at like teams like Brentford and Bournemouth and Forest, and you just think, fucking hell, we should be up there. Instead of scraping frigging, you know, wins against frigging teams like, you know, Swansea.
And then Villa, who were in Championship with us being in Champions League.
Who's this guy?
It's just
I just seen a comment from a guy called Yorkie. He says Pirro belongs in the Thunderdome with a haircut. Class.
I like
Class.
that. I like that.
Class. Herbert, Ipswich got behind Man United at will yesterday. Yeah, and then they're poor. And the worst thing is this new guy is going to get them playing good football again. Ideally, we should be playing them now when they're absolutely shite, so we can get a few digs in, get a few wins behind his belt, possibly. And then, but you can absolutely guarantee if we go up next season, they'll be absolutely chuffing.
Oh, yeah, they'll be on it, won't they?
Again. Absolutely.
They'll be on it.
Honestly, get your bloody wages on it. We've got to get promoted first, so that's
we have.
Leeds' biggest problem is Leeds United.
So going back to the game, I don't know about you, but I watched it on my phone in the car when they equalised at 3-3. I nearly threw my phone out the window.
I was just about to send a horrible tweet. I was going to go absolutely batshit crazy, and then
I just couldn't believe it. I thought, Leeds, we've done it again.
Yeah.
Fuck me,
Can't speak. What's going on? Bloody frustrating. But the thing is, because my wireless was slightly behind, unfortunately, the people or the journalists that I follow, whose tweets I did get through saying that we'd scored or whatever.
It's our little mate.
Danny. Why didn't you come on as bloody not another Leeds then, you doucher? At least, I'm going to have to give him some shit for this now. Sorry, let me get my ass working. Your man here, who's saying Pirro belongs in the Thunderdome with his haircut, I think that might be some hair jealousy going on there. What do you reckon?
Maybe so, mate. Maybe so.
Absolute hair jealousy. In fact, you've got some to spare. You've got some to spare. Fucking Moon's pulling his friggin' hairline back, Daniel.
When I cut this, I'll send him it.
What, like as a little wig? We can staple a little fringe, onto him.
Stick it on his head, yeah.
Thanks for joining us anyway, Daniel. Get back to pulling cables, you lazy little shit. Oh my god, what on earth? What is that? What is that?
Just something I loaded in the brand, mate. Just how we're gonna do this when we came on.
You need to stop. I don't know what on earth you've done there. That can't carry on. That needs taking out.
We'll see, mate.
Get rid. That'll do Carl's head in that because he'll be buffering all over the place. He won't be able to sound effect. No, I'm not even looking. I'm not getting distracted. What did you think of Mano Solomon?
I mean, fucking hell, what a guy, Mano Superman. How dare you? At least I'm allowed near schools, Bryn.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, no. You need to stop. This is getting so cringe.
Anyway. Mano Superman. That's what I'm going to call him from now on. What a guy. I mean, all those people saying, send him back, blah, blah, blah. Where are they now?
I've seen a few people, and again, that... don't go to bed just yet. The people on there again were not laying into him a little bit, but saying we were discussing obviously having to replace him and stuff like that. I'm like, you will not get a better left winger or any sort of winger than Mano Solomon at this level at his level. You just won't. You've got to stick with the guy. He's getting better. He's injured. Yeah, blah blah blah. But he's got a lot in his locker, and he had to be in the right place at the right time yesterday. There was no one else there.
Yeah.
Bamford would have spooned it over. Joseph would have probably tripped up over himself because he's getting that way as well a little bit, hasn't he?
He is,
Pirro would have been half asleep on edge of 18-yard box. You've got to have these. Nonto, I think he'd have been in there as well.
Yeah,
but
he would, yeah.
just he's effective and he's getting better and he does he's tidy. He's very, very tidy. And I think
you can tell his fitness is getting better and better every week now.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think give him time. Get off the guy's back. Jesus Christ!
He showed us yesterday what he's capable of and what we brought him in for. We need to see a bit more of that, obviously. But yeah, I mean, you can't complain, can you? Unless you're this guy, WFIA08, still below expectations for a Premier League level player. I mean, he scored 2 goals.
Listen, I can agree with. I wish people had put the names on. I can agree with Mr. WF1. Yes, I did expect maybe more from him initially because when he did start for us, he was absolutely lightning. I thought, Jesus Christ, we've got a right steal on his hands. And then he's been injured, and he's coming back into fitness and stuff like that. I just think we need to give this guy a little bit of time because he looks like a great player. And we've got Ramazani coming back into the team as well. We'll have some good options on the wings, and I think he's a cracking player. And you just will not. The only reason we've got him is because he's injury prone.
Yeah, and we've accounted for that. We've got other wingers. We have cover usually when everyone's not hurt. But yeah, we've brought him in as kind of like a special attraction in a way. He's like a top class player that we shouldn't have. Has his stint overall been disappointing for a guy at that level? Possibly. I could see the argument for that. There's been games where he's not been great, but he's been injured, as you say. He's getting fit again, and when he plays like he played yesterday, he's just a massive asset for us. I certainly wouldn't want to be sending the guy back
to get to total, complete fitness.
Of course,
from an
it
injury.
does. Especially when you're playing a front line like ours that moves quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's save it for Ramazani when he comes back. Based on how well he was playing. Before he got injured. Let's have a look and see how lightning he is when he comes back. Because I can guarantee he won't be as effective as he was. I mean, he's still a good player. Don't get me wrong. He's class, but it won't be at that sort of level he was before he got injured because you can't do. You need minutes. Sending him to Israel. People were saying, I can't believe we're sending him to Israel to go back and play for the national team. And I said, it's a good thing. You need to look at it as a good thing because it's minutes in his legs. He didn't get injured. He got more minutes in his legs and he looks sharper.
I will worry about him being
There's too
tired,
many people that are too negative about it.
But yeah, the minutes were valuable. But honestly, yeah, you're right. Have you got a comment from Gary Barlow's massive son here?
I've got Mark Barlow, the giant himself, who's joined us this evening. Thanks for joining us, Mark. Solomon was good. He just did his feet well to convert James's cross. How many of those did we see Bamford slot wide or fall over his own feet and miss? Exactly. You've got to read the game well enough to get into those positions.
That's right.
We don't score enough of them goals. There's quite a few other comments as well. Chat's going mad. Chat's going mental.
We've got a lively crowd tonight.
Paul Brennan says, Manor Solomon will play his part in our promotion push. He's too good for this league. I like him. He's a good lad. Chuffed to bits. He scored 2 goals. Absolutely, mate.
Absolutely.
And you'll always. I mean, I'm not going to get into the politics about it. He will always have his critics. Always. He's got a big cloud hanging over him because of everything that's going on over in the Middle East, etc. But I think sometimes football shouldn't be involved in politics, etc. And you should just leave that. Just leave it out and just focus on. He's a footballer at the end of the day. Absolutely nothing.
That's
to
it.
do with any of that.
I mean, some people fall out with people because they vote different to them, so you can't tell some people. For me, it's football. I just want to see my team do well.
Yeah. Mark again. The international break actually helped us for once with Solomon getting some mins. See, and there were so many people, and it wasn't just Solomon because people were getting on Verber's back as well. We'll come on to him. I can't believe he's gone away. He's been injured. Blah 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 blah. At the end of the day, they aren't getting the minutes in the first team. They need to get the minutes from somewhere. And training sessions aren't games. And he went away. He got the captain's armband. He played quite a lot of football. Bosh, he's come back and he's match sharp or sharper. It's a win-win. Yes, there was always a risk. But I think wherever you go, or whatever Man or Solomon does, there's always going to be a risk of him being injured. Look at Sam Byram. He could snap in a million pieces any moment because that's.
With Solomon, Solomon could have stayed training. He could have got injured training. He's just that kind of player.
Exactly. Well, he did get injured and played in training.
Exactly. So it could have happened on the international break had he not gone to play for his country. You just never know. If it's going to happen with him, it's going to happen. Just got to enjoy him being fit while we can.
WF180 or 8. I can't be. Can you call yourself something else, please?
Wiffia.
I don't know if it stands for something. I might have to. I don't know. He says Werber played a tidy forward pass for the winning goal. To be fair to him, yeah, he did. It was decent.
Still looks like that meerkat off them adverts.
Do you know what? When I saw him warming up or whatever and coming on, I was like, ugh.
When they were grinning, they were going.
I was like, I thought, no, we'll give him benefit of doubt because at the end of the day, we're probably going to need him. And to get on the players back, he's done now. He's gone away. He's a shithouse. He'll always have that shithouse label, just like the Sick Note 6, etc. Aaronson's probably shaking it, to be fair. He's not getting any more shit for it. However, he's contributing, or has been contributing. It's kind of lacklustre a little bit now.
Yeah.
But I am hoping that, in the January transfer window that we do probably get a decent number 10, someone that creates but doesn't lose the ball constantly. I've not got a right lot against Aronson. Unfortunately, he came in with a hefty price tag. He's about as rigid as a Rizzler paper, as soft as shite. But I like the fact that he's quite tenacious and he runs around. He does look busy, but he gets stuck in. And sometimes you just need that little terrier in middle of field to just go after people, to press, because he presses like mad. Sometimes you just got to put a bit of a positive spin. But yeah, I think he's probably on bench, won't he?
I will slate him for losing the ball and all that, but I don't have any issue with him on a personal level. I don't dislike him. If he's wearing the shirt, I'm gonna get behind him when he's on the pitch. But when he's played badly, I'm gonna tell it like it is. I'm gonna talk about what he's done. I would like someone better, but when he's out there, I will cheer for him.
Yeah. Roland, the old butternubs himself, needs to put in some work to redeem his reputation, but Willie did it and Aronson is coming along, so it's possible. Yeah, absolutely. There's quite a few.
It is. It's a bit different for him, though, isn't it? Because he came out and said he'd stay, then went.
Yeah.
He just shouldn't have said anything. If there were any doubt in his mind at all. Maybe he didn't think that anything was coming. Maybe he didn't think that a move was going to come. And he just thought, I'm sorted, it's fine. I'm not bothered that there's not a move. I'm going to focus on Leeds. Then the contract lands in front of him and he's like, fucking hell, I can't turn that down.
The only person that wouldn't have accepted a move away was Cooper. And I think that would have completely ended everything if he'd have moved away. After saying side before self and saying if you don't want to be here, then fuck off. And the last season before.
Do you think if he'd moved away, like a black hole would have opened up and swallowed Elland Road and we'd all have gone with it?
Quite possibly. I think, like a few
the
players
end of Buffy, the Hellmouth.
But at the end of the day, if you're a Premier League player, if you consider yourself a Premier League player, like Jack Harrison does, like Nonto does, etc. Jack Harrison.
Harrison.
Did I say Harrison?
Sounded a bit like it.
Stop turning into Luke. Can't do with that, mate.
I was thinking more Gilly.
Yeah, well, he's a fucking tosser and all.
Bit harsh.
He won't be watching. He never watches. He's a tosser. But yeah, there's a few that could have jumped ship, and I'm pretty certain would they have got the opportunity to, then we would have done. And they did well to keep hold of a load of players last season. We were absolutely dealt a shit hand last season, and we did all right. And I think we are a much rounded, much better squad this season. I think we'll do all right. People were writing us off. People are calling for Fark saying that we signed shit players, etc., etc. We're top of the league.
We are. I mean,
granted,
I'll
probably not for very long. But
I wasn't sure we'd signed quite enough. But hey, like you say, we're top of the league. It's working. Everybody's
signing Gilavugi kind of reinforces that, though, doesn't it?
It does.
That we didn't sign enough players. We didn't have enough cover.
It does.
But then again,
he is a good cover.
We're expecting two players to get injured in the centre of midfield as well. So.
You don't, do you? And he is good cover, and he's a good, he's got a good pedigree, and he's fucking massive.
Cooper would have been different. He was always going to be second fiddle at best. Yes, understood. However, you can't be a hypocrite and say that you can't go here, there, and everywhere, and you should be put inside before self and then move to frigging Saudi. He turned it down. Full credit to Cooper, by the way.
He did, didn't he?
He did turn it down and then got injured for 6 months or whatever it was. but yeah, not the best centre back, but one of the best captains you could probably ask for, and an absolute
100%, yeah.
And he did us a massive service throughout the many years here at Leeds. So he's asking us if we've got a webcam on him. No, I just know you quite well.
I'd rather not see him on a webcam, to be honest.
At some point, everyone in here will be seeing you through a webcam, not some sort of sordid, raunchy soap show.
When we get him on, finally.
He's gonna be running his gums on one of these Berardi and Cokes for me. Probably me and you, actually. We'll get him on. I think in a few weeks, actually. I think we're back on in a couple of weeks.
We'll get him on and torment him a little bit.
Get some people in the comments to give him some shit.
That's what we need, isn't it?
Paul Brennan again. It's down to Daniel Farke and how Dan James has developed. When he came back from Fulham, he said he wanted Dan James as part of his team. Daniel Farke's man manager of players, is first class. Yeah,
Absolutely.
We always knew though that Dan James were going to be class in this league. We always knew because he was before he got up into Premier League. He's played a bit of Premier League football and he's come back down. He were always going to be good. He were always going to be good. I don't even know want to even have another go at pronouncing this. I think he'll get. I keep wanting.
About Solomon.
One Tote Fato. I think he'll get there. You start shit you.
No, that was
random.
Because we were talking at the time about Solomon. That was about Solomon because he'd said
no bloody context.
He'd expected more from a Premier League player. Then he said, "I do expect him to get there." But you don't always look at stuff that a star while we're talking. So. It's your own fault. It's your own fault.
No, don't. You're true. That is, it is. It's a fair point. You're loving Paul Brennan's and all. Paul Brennan
he's
again.
Talking sense tonight.
Top chat. He's in the chat, man. He's doing
a top contributor.
Paul Brennan says, "Wasn't that good about Joshua? Had a word with the lads to give them confidence, stay focused, that they can win the match at half time. What a player! A wealth of experience. Please, we have him. Can you use some commas, Paul? Is all I ask. Some grammar." Please.
Unbelievable, you. Just alienating the audience.
I expect more from such a top lad like Paul.
Here we go.
Oh,
hang on.
Go on then. Fucking hell.
He's renamed himself Jay's Ponytail.
That'll do.
WFIA.
That's absolutely perfect. That's
works
fine.
Works for us.
Absolutely fine. Thanks, Jay's Ponytail. He's probably got a better personality than you as well as your ponytail.
Probably has to be
IPW 133. Oh, you lot with these fucking names. Man. Can you not just put John or Dave or something really?
Or Denise.
Yeah, Zoe, something, Debbie. Byram is building up good partnership with Solomon. Look how they've reacted after the match. Look how they reacted after the match. How they reacted after the match. Yeah, quite possibly.
Were you surprised to see Byram receive that ball where he did on the left wing?
He likes a little trot every now and again, does Sammy?
He does, doesn't he, now and then? But he did really well there. For all the criticism he gets about being right-footed and cutting in and not going to the byline or getting further forward, he did great. He did great for me. He's such a reliable, solid player. He's not the guy you want first choice, but he's a guy that you're not worried about having to play.
He's a solid and he's quite dependable.
It's not like putting Shaq in there where you don't expect anything of him. You know what I mean?
You should respect Shaq's name, you.
Never. When Byram goes in, you know that he'll put in a solid shift. He's maybe not quite Stuart Dallas, but he's that kind of player from a sort of Mr. Reliable perspective for me at the moment.
No point bloody pulling. Look, honestly, listen. He's put IPW 133 equals Pierre. I don't know if this is some sort of random Twitch streaming sort of stuff, but just put Pierre. What's with all numbers? Just put Pierre.
People use whatever they use on other social media, don't they?
So they can give us some shit and we can't call them out for it.
No,
I like
never.
it. Well done, Pierre. Nice of you. I don't know. I always liked Shaq. He probably wasn't good enough, but he's like, I don't know.
They were likeable, but he was shit.
Played really well in the Derby semi-final defeat. Anyway.
Yeah, well, every dog has his day.
We buy him. Firpo will come back in at left back because he offers more. He just offers more from an attacking point of view.
But again, Byron won't kick off about that. He'll be fine.
He will because he knows his job. He knows that he's only a bench player and he's only going to ever make he's only ever going to make bit part sort of appearances and stuff, which is fine. You have to expect that, especially with a player as injury prone as Sam Byram.
That's
there
it.
There are others.
To get to come back to a club like Leeds, get a decent wage, play in front of these fans, and be in a good side, he's done all right for a guy that's got biscuit legs. But he's reliable. I think he's great, mate.
I'm just going to go on it. I'm not on. I don't think I'm on tomorrow night, so I'm going to be sat in chat talking to all the people that have changed their names for me. You've done it all for me, lad. Thank you very much.
It's changed that one. There you go. Good old Pierre.
Thank you, Pierre. What a top
Love
bloke.
it. Love it. FV White says top 2 on the top pod.
Well,
cheers, my friend.
Little and large. So
we're talking about height or gut?
Probably both. I'm a right sling Jim, me. I could blow away in a
yeah.
gust of wind. I could fall through a grate in a drain. I wish I were.
I wish you would.
I wish I was, mate. So you're happy with the performance then? I think we've rattled on for nearly an hour now. I think we can close this up. But you're happy with the performance? You're positive for Wednesday?
I mean, yeah, we'll just talk about Nonto's goal before we do wrap up because we didn't really mention it. But I thought you were offside when that one happened. Did you? Because you don't think you could see the defender on the TV view on the angle when we saw
initially
Nonto played in. So I didn't celebrate for that one either. And I was like, you know, when you're like, has he scored? Has he? I don't know, Jeff. Has he? You know,
I went half typing up an abusive sort of I can't believe what I've just seen sort of tweet.
I think we all were.
And then all of a sudden I looked up as Nonto received the ball from Verba passed the ball forward, and I'm just like, ooh, and I kept like one eye on it as I'm literally fucking giving it this on my phone. Like,
You're about to send these useless bastards,
absolute
fucking
bastards.
Farker out.
And obviously, you know, listening to the wireless, of course. I don't mean watching. Listen to the wireless.
Yeah.
The special wireless. And before any tweets came through, like I say, a few journos have been tweeting, etc. through evening. I were getting updates before I'd seen it, which kind of spoils it a lot of time. But I actually saw that in real time, which I was chuffed about. But I was like, yeah, but I thought, oh, it could be offside. It could be offside.
I were
exactly offside. I saw their number 6 with his arms in air again. I thought, yeah, but you lot,
what a toss bag.
You're an absolute set of shithouses. You lot have been trying to claim for everything, every single frigging decision. This offside trap that just don't work.
It was just a beautiful end to a chaotic game, and it meant we could all have a little smile on his face instead of being completely raging and seething.
I like seeing a little smile on your face,
mate. I were ready to throw my phone out the window. I was just like. I couldn't believe it. My head exploded. I was just, you know, they equalised, and I was just like, you've thrown it away again. You've done it again. Fucking you know. And then he scores, and it kind of happened so quickly. I was just like, what? Is it what? And then they didn't chalk it off, and they're all celebrating. I'm like, fucking come on, like you've won league. You know what I mean? That's what football is, isn't it? Yeah, those moments.
There's still some people saying that we scored offside goals. I mean, even though the fact that you've got it in proof, you can see that the miles on side and stuff. There's still salty Swansea fans out there saying that we cheated. And the ref wanted us to win, and the league are trying to get us promoted. I'm like, I'm sorry, but if the league was biased, if the league was trying to keep any of the teams in this league, it'd be Leeds United, because we are the absolute cash cow for the Championship. Amongst others, granted, but we are an absolute money-making beast for the Championship.
We are. And so, I were really happy that Willie got a goal, because he's been playing really well this season. I love to see him get the odd goal and that little smile on his face.
I've got a question for you from the Crafty Butcher, no less.
Ooh, go on.
The Crafty Butcher says, is Tanaka one of the best signings in the last 10 years, along with Raf?
Yes. Because I'm saying that in the context of the signing rather than on an outright list of players by ability. What he means to us now in this team is up there for me in importance. Yeah. You want to put him on a list against players on outright ability, FIFA scores, whatever. Maybe he's not. Do you know what I mean? But for what he's doing and what he means to this side now, 100% he is.
I mean, you look at signings in the last 10 years, there aren't that many that I would earmark as being some of the best, because I think that over the last 10 years, a lot of it's been dross. So to me, there haven't been that many great signings. You know, if I were to really poke a few through, if I were to say like my top 5, I probably would put
Pablo Hernandez is number 1.
Pablo Hernandez will be my number 1 all day long. I think Pontus Jansson is up there.
We all agree on that. Gilly would pull you up on that, Janssen, but I agree with you.
I don't understand why, because he were absolutely.
He didn't like him, did he? He didn't like him. But
he didn't like so many. He didn't like Raf. He didn't like Jorginho. You know what I mean?
So
Gilly's knee-jerk reactions to a lot of stuff. He's left very wanting at a lot of points. But maybe we should do. Yeah, Ben White, but he's a shithouse.
He is, but he wasn't important.
But he was a good player, a very, very good player for us.
Well, We could do a special pod on that sometime.
You could probably throw Bamford in there as well, possibly.
At the time, for what he did early doors,
a couple of years now, it's just an absolute joke. But yes, I think we might have to do some sort of. I think when's the next international break? March.
Not
time,
till March, but we'll save it for them.
So we'll save it for them. We'll do like an OKB top 10. We'll
Let's
discuss
do
it at length, like
We'll
proper
talk some
boring
shit.
sods. So, yes, I think yourself, Carl, and Luke are on tomorrow.
I think Luke was meant to be on Monday. Was he trying to swap?
No, I was trying to swap this tonight.
Oh, okay.
Because
Fair
we're
enough.
getting back till 8:30. But no, it's fine. It's fine.
But here you
So I
are,
think
Mr. Commitment.
that's it. The three amigos will be with you tomorrow evening.
I can't
and then
wait.
obviously- I'm not sure who's on Berardi and Coke, but you guys can discuss that. Obviously a little bit later on.
No worries.
I'm looking for the outro. Oh yeah, I found it. It's fine. So thank you everyone for joining us in the comments. It's been on fire. It's been on flames, as Pierre was saying. I think one of the other guys was saying. It's been great. Thank you for interacting with us through the comments, etc. If you haven't liked or subscribed, then please do so. You know, why not? It doesn't cost you.
That'd be nice, that.
It'd be nice of you. It'd be nice of you to do so on a
Nice,
Monday, on a
Liz.
drab, horrible, rainy, miserable Monday after the game went down at
A
Swansea.
Monday that feels like this.
Oh, fucking hell. And with that, I think we'll bid you adieu. Thank you for joining me, James. Thank you, everyone else in the comments. I'll see you tomorrow with the
Night, everyone.
lads. Take it easy.
You've got to turn